What's up, everybody? I look very red today, don't I? Yo, yo. Hey, what's happening? It's sunny. Yo, yo, yo. Where y'all watching from? What part of the world? What time is it? Put it down in the chat. Alex Unity. Yo. Hey, what's up? Price. What's up, everybody? Satima. I can't promise today's going to be overly exciting. For some reason, I have no energy. I don't know why. Amsterdam. Where are you from, sir? I'm Austin, Texas, just like Dubs, apparently. Keep it weird. You know, that whole phrase, like, literally only applies for downtown. Like, downtown, downtown. Because everywhere I go in Austin, like, me personally, like, it's just normal, nothing weird. There's nothing I can say that's weird. And I go all over the place. So it's only downtown, as far as I can tell. Why, bro? Someone says, why, bro? The Hacker Pack bonus was more generous, but why the short deadline? Short deadline? I don't know what short deadline means. Oh. All you have to, it's 7 days to claim it. Just go in and claim it. The reason why it's a short deadline is because things are going to move on. People change addresses, things like that. And I'm not going to be sending out Kickstarter delivery emails for the next 6 months. So 7 days to, dude, John, it's 7 days to click a button. Come on, 7 days to click a button. Come on, where are we setting the bar here? Portland is OG. Now, okay, Portland's a weird place. I've been to Portland. Portland's a weird place. I would say Portland is more weird than Austin. Portland has grilled cheese sandwich food trucks downtown. They, I mean, first off, that's amazing, but secondly, that's weird. So, Caleb definitely wins for the weird in Portland. Uh, yo yo, hey from Turkey. Claim my reward rate took 3.2 seconds to click the button, right, Price? It is cool, Bus. Yeah. John, how Kickstarter? So last time I did Kickstarter, I didn't set timelines and timeframes, and I still have people like literally 2 months ago, like, "Hey, I backed this Kickstarter 2 years ago. I need your help." Like, it's the most annoying thing ever. Uh, do you visit Vienna? I'm I don't go a whole lot of places. I've been to uh, Peru, Lima, and Cusco. I've been to Belgium. I've been to Malaysia. That's it. And then the airports, to get around. I need to travel more. Maybe one day if the world stays intact long enough. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hi from Italy. Francesco. Is Vue a good alternative to React? Yeah. Portland, the place where young go to retire. Oh, that's funny. Um, yeah, but I'll tell you what. Getting a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich was amazing. Like, I wished actually there was more grilled cheese sandwich trucks in the world. Kayla's asking about BitClout. It's open source blockchain like Bitcoin. I don't know anything about it. I'm so behind Caleb on everything. Hey, what's up, Rayon? What's up, Mishifu? Johan. Yours is first successful Kickstarter in 9 years, so thanks and have a good week. Hey, thanks, John. Uh, what do you think of TypeScript? Do you think it's important? TypeScript's fantastic. If you're stuck in JavaScript and you want a better language, use TypeScript because you're gonna have less errors. It's better. It's definitely better. It's a superset of JavaScript. Out of all your academies, which seems to be more active? The web and iOS are equally active. Maybe web a little more. The Android developers are different. It's really strange. They don't talk a whole lot. They don't chat a whole lot. They just do their work. It's harder. Android development's harder, I think, than the other ones. But the people in my Android Academy, like it's like they're determined to not get help. So they go and they learn all on their own, and that only when they're so stuck do they reach out. It's the weirdest thing. Like Android developers are completely like, just leave me alone. Give me my coffee. I'm gonna build this out. So I don't know. Okay. What would you prefer to master, C++ or Java? I wouldn't choose to master either of those. Don't talk about food. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm hungry. Tips on growing YouTube channel. I'm not an expert, but just do it. Post a video every single week. What do you think about React Native future? I think it's going to continue to do its thing. There's opportunities there. Love your work. Tell the truth. You prefer Angular or React? I see posts about both. So we have used Angular at DevSlips and React extensively. On one project for our website, we chose Angular because we wanted to not have to deal with data management, all those other things. We just wanted the whole solution to be handled without having to think. We needed to get it built and done. We didn't need to have debates and arguments on, best practices for this and that. How do we manage our data? So anyway, we used Angular because Angular is robust. It takes care of everything for you. You don't have to think. All the rules are set. So it's really nice that way. In another instance, we built a cross-platform desktop app with Electron. And in this case, we chose React because we really wanted to use GraphQL, and it worked really nicely with React. And we used TypeScript, and so it was a lot more structure we had to do. Like, it was an insane amount of structure we had to do as a team. We had to set our own rules, our own data, policies and things like that. But we chose that because it made more sense for the solution we were trying to build. So which is better? I would say none is better, but keep in mind that Angular did everything for us. React, we had to pick our own networking libraries. We had to pick how we wanted to manage our data flow, which was GraphQL. We introduced TypeScript, a whole bunch of... I personally spent 3 weeks setting that project up. All the tooling and systems and everything, okay? So just so you know, it's not, oh, React's better than Angular. Yeah, sure, you can run your little compiler, your create React app and get a component up in 5 seconds, right? But if you're going to build a real application that's managing real data, talking to the APIs and syncing the data back down and all of that, it becomes incredibly complex. You've got to be more expert in your skills. If you're a brand new person, you're going to suck at React because you'll get the component part right, but managing your whole application is going to be a nightmare. So just so you know, it's not all rainbows and butterflies just because it's like super fast, like and you can make a component really quick. It's not like that at all. So no one will ever be able to convince me that one is like the absolute best choice over the other, Angular versus React, because there's like substantial use cases for both. If you need two-way binding, Angular is the only choice, right? Well, I mean, that's a tool, right? It's a tool. I mean, with React, here's what I'm trying to say, Price, is you can do the same thing with both, the same thing that you need to accomplish. Two-way data binding is like a tool. It's not an end goal, right? Like, you don't go around saying I need two-way data binding. You have an obvious purpose in mind, and you can solve any purpose with both frameworks. So what is the best software for game development? I would say Unity in C# or Unreal Engine. How y'all doing on motivation? I suck at containing motivation. It's hard for a lot of people. You just got to keep on trucking. Like today, I'm so tired and I have zero energy. So like I'm pretending. So I'm pretending to have energy and I'm just functioning. I'm functioning right now, and I'll be fine tomorrow. So you just gotta keep on trucking. Are you planning on making tutorials about jQuery? No, but that is something that we're adding to our DevSlopes Academy, our web academy, just because it's important to know. So, do you prefer REST API, GraphQL? Um, GraphQL was really nice to work with. It was really nice. It was fun. All of your models are pre-built out, which is really nice. Here's what was awesome about GraphQL. We had a desktop app, and we had a web app, and we had an iPhone app. And what we did was we used GraphQL for all of it. All of our GraphQL models we stored in their own repository on GitHub, and we used the same models for all the platforms, which was amazing. It was amazing. Also, like all 4 of our platforms use the same models, which was so fantastic. We didn't have to implement crazy API calls and parse JSON and data and all that stuff. It just worked out of the box. So, how to become a game developer? Well, if you want to work for a big company like Call of Duty, you need to master C++. You need to live, breathe, and eat C++ for the next 2 years. And I'll tell you what, they don't hire junior people very easily, so you got to be really, really good. Now, if you want to make your own games, you've got other options like C# and Unity or Unreal Engine. You can do that as well too. If you want a quickest path to a job that's not C++, I would say get into mobile gaming. Get really good with C#. Spend like a year building your own games, getting good with it. You could probably get a junior job doing mobile with Unity. Thanks a lot for the answer. Made things a bit more clear, man. Thanks again. Yeah, no problem. Do you have lessons on Udemy? Yeah, we got some older Udemy courses. But everything we do right now is all about the DevSlopes Academy. That is our 16-week program where we will personally work with you and coach you one-on-one until you have success, guaranteed success, because we will keep working with you. So when you go to apply for the job, we'll look at your resume. We'll even look at your job coding tests and give you some pointers and advice and all kinds of things. We will train you and help you until you have paid work. That's devslopes.com/apply if you'd like to have a free 30-minute career planning call and work with me one-on-one. What is the best platform to learn C++? So if you're talking about paid platforms, things like that, here's what I have found. I have done quite a few, and I've even taken Udacity's C++. And I'm going to say if you want, I don't have a program on it. So if you want like the quick pass to C++ from absolute beginner, take Udacity's course. They charge you like, like $500 a month or so, something around there. So it's not super cheap. But I found that it was really well done. Incredibly well done. Django was its name-o. We're making nursery rhymes out of programming frameworks. I like it. Yeah. You can come in. Okay. Do you advise to stick with iOS, later pick up Android or Flutter when planning to be a senior dev? Joshua, great question. Let me give you some real advice. If you want to be a senior developer, you need to learn one of those things and master it. Don't learn all of them. Learn one of those things and master it. That's where the jobs are. They're in one thing with mastery. Later, like for instance, for me, I built Android apps, and I built more iPhone apps than Android apps. But then later, I was able to act as like a mobile architect because of that experience. But keep in mind, that's like senior level, right? It's not something that you just do on your normal career path. So you need to master one thing first, iOS or Android. Flutter's cross-platform, and that's really great for freelancing, but there's not going to be jobs with it, and no employer's really going to value that. So I think that you should just master one of them, really get really, really good with it. Which is the future language, Java or C++? Did you just ask me this on YouTube? Someone else just asked me this on YouTube. Why are you picking those two languages? Neither of those languages are going anywhere, and they're not my first choice for anything, unless you have a career path specifically for those. Those languages are going to be around for a very long time. 758K, yo! React Native versus Flutter, that's easy. I'll choose Flutter any day. It's far superior to build apps with. It's far more developer friendly, and I love their vision of where they're going with it. How many apps you need to build to start looking for jobs? It's not about the quantity. And I feel like you've asked me this question before. Maybe not, but people ask me here every day. It's not about the quantity. You need to have one major project on your GitHub, and also on the App Store if you want. But one major project on your GitHub that's incredibly advanced. It shows all of your skills, your unit testing, your engineering skills, your algorithm skills. One major project that shows how good you are. So at DevSlopes Academy, we sometimes get students from Lambda School. We sometimes get students from Coding Dojo. Those are great boot camps. But every single time they show me their code that they built there, they're like simple, like sample projects. Like they've got some core skills, but when I look at it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this was a tutorial. Okay, this is simple. Like I don't get to see their engineering skills. And so I tell them you need to build something of value. And I'm talking about, like Airbnb, like Netflix, where you're going to have to manage data and have unit tests and image caching and things like that. You need something that's incredibly advanced that shows your skill set. What is the scope of web developer in the future? It'll keep morphing. I mean, HTML, CSS, JavaScript is still there. It'll keep morphing after that. We're just more tools, more frameworks, more technologies. I don't know. I can't tell the future, but there's nothing to worry about. Everyone's really worried about losing their jobs. If you start losing your job, you just start learning new skills, right? The problem with humans is we don't like to learn new things. We don't like to do new things. I know some truck drivers, and they even though it's happening right now where truck drivers are getting replaced by robotic trucks, they literally, when I talk to them about this, they literally tell me that will never happen. I don't care what you say, Mark. I don't care what happens. It'll never happen. We will always need truck drivers. It's like, I think that's the wrong approach, man. I think you should be looking at how can you improve your skill set. Don't be clinging onto something. So like even with web development, if everyone started just going to Wix and Squarespace and no code tools, right? What I would be doing is I would be enhancing my skills, my coding skills. I'd be building the tools that build the tools, right? There's going to need to be engineers everywhere. You need to adapt. But I mean, nothing's changing that rapidly. So it's changing. Everything's changing rapidly, I guess, but no one's going to lose jobs or anything like that. Like we just all morph. We all morph. Which one is more complex over the other, iOS or Android, in terms of teaching and learning also? So I've done both. And our Android instructor, Alan, he'll even tell you that Android can be really, really difficult. I've done both. My professional opinion is Android can be more complex. But the thing is, when you are passionate about something, it doesn't matter. So, if you're an Android user and you hate Mac and you've got, let's say, Windows computer, I would never tell you to go learn iOS because it's not in your personality. It's not something that you're going to enjoy. I would say learn Android. So the margin of difference isn't that big of a deal. If we're just comparing them directly, though, yeah, iOS, I think, personally, is easier to learn. I'm from India. Started loving your page. Thanks. Awesome. Automation is coming fast. Yes, it is. Eyes of Attitude. What's up? C#. Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? If I put my iOS app on GitHub, wouldn't other people just copy it and claim it for themselves? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to, like, you have some personal app that you don't want anyone else to have, or are you trying to get a job? Now, if you do have an app that's your personal app, and you also want to get a job, it doesn't have to be public. Make it private. The point is, when you go for a job interview, a lot of times they'll say, can I look at a GitHub project of yours? And then you would give them access to that link so they could look at your code. So you don't have to make it public. It's fine. I will say, though, the more you contribute publicly to repositories, the more that shows on GitHub. It shows how active you are as an engineer. I just finished the CS50 course. Nice. Great work. Great job. What were we talking about today? Well, I was supposed to talk about something. I was going to talk about, how long it takes to learn to code. How long does it take to learn React? Just like anything else. Just just spend a few months on a framework if you already know how to code. But yo, how long does it take to learn how to code? I'm going to talk about this just for 5 minutes. How long does it take to learn how to code to get your first job? I've seen it at all different levels, okay? And different languages and things like that. First answer to this question is it depends on the person. Everyone learns at different speeds, okay? Now, I have seen people do it in 4 to 6 months on the fastest end. 4 to 6 months. And these are usually, I'll be real honest about all these things. The people who do it in 4 to 6 months are young. They're not married. They can do this all day long. They have nothing else to do with their time or life except learn. Like they've got a job, but sure, they're learning all the time. They typically don't have kids. They haven't bought a house. They're usually under 25. The people who do it in 4 to 6 months are usually under 25. They're spending insane amounts of time learning to code. The average time, if somebody's putting in 2 to 3 hours per day and is serious about getting a job in this industry, the average time is a year. So that's the average time is a year for a full-time job. Okay, full-time job. So, well, this is a good question. Chris says he's 47. He's in IT for 5 years. Is it too old to get into coding? Will I be looked at as a relic? No. In fact, your background will actually help you. You would find great opportunities. I think that if you learned a software development language, not a scripting language, but like let's say iOS development or desktop engineering, like some place that is looking like more corporate, like because IT is very corporate, right? So spend a year learning, let's say iOS or Android native. Spend a year learning that. I mean, you could do web too, but there's a lot of like newer, fresher, younger web people who like do design and all this stuff. And I think that you would have a better chance focusing on software engineering specifically. So let iOS, Android, desktop, something that interests you, C#.net, whatever. Do that for a year. You can get a job you get a pay upgrade easy with your IT background. Just throw that on there. It'll help you out a ton. And that's a good point. We're talking about time. A year. Spend a year doing something. Spend a year. For all the rest of us normal people who've got jobs with families, we're not young and killing ourselves, to get things done. I guess I'm not allowed to say that anymore. We're not burning both ends of the candle. For those of us who like need to breathe and live a normal life, give yourself a year. It's going to take a year. Okay? It's going to take a year. But that's okay. A year is so short. And think of all the cool things you're going to be able to build. Keep in mind, you're not, when I say a year, you're not going to college. Like if you come talk to me at DevSlopes Academy, our program is about the cost of 1 semester of college. And we have payment plans and financing. 1 semester of college. So 1 year, a super low affordable price. We're not talking about degrees here. We're talking about a year of self-paced education while you work your job. While you're working your job. A year. That is not a lot to ask. I think that's really, really awesome. And that's just to get your first job. Even at a year, you're going to be entry level, right? You're not going to be expert. I have seen people get placed in the United States on their very first job for $120,000. But the average I've seen is around $80,000 for jobs in the United States, your first job. And then with a year experience, you can go up. It jumps so fast. It really jumps so fast. My brother-in-law was an iOS developer. I think he started off his very first job like $78,000 a year. 2 years later, he was making $110,000. Like, it's really fast. It's really, really, really fast. Mihai, hey man, a month ago I asked why my app was not doing good. You said get analytics. I did and got huge success. 2x active users, 10x my nice man, nice. That's super awesome. Like what changes did you make? Or like, did you look at users? You changed some things around. That's really curious. I'm really curious to know. But awesome. Congrats on that. Analytics and knowing what's actually happening is critical. So yeah, um, how long to learn to code? It depends on you, how much time you have, but give yourself a year for average people. If you can put in like 5 and 6 hours a day, it's going to go faster. But keep in mind, there is a limit. You can only go so fast. You can only learn so much at any given period of time. Um, okay, now let's talk about freelancing. Freelancing is a little bit different. For web development, for instance, HTML, CSS, you can start freelancing with that stuff 3 months in. Easy. Like make a few $100 here and there. JavaScript too. One of my students, I paid one of my students to build me my website, markwalbeck.com. In fact, I'll show you here. HTTPS markwalbeck.com. I'm putting it here on YouTube because I can actually type in YouTube. But if you go to markwalbeck.com, that's my personal author site. That was built by a student, all using React and Next.js to build it into a static website. It scores really well on Google Page Insights. He did the lead capture form, all that stuff. He has only been in the DevSops Academy for 3 months. 3 months, and I paid him to build me that website. He has a full-time job. He works at a high school as a teacher. He's got a full-time job. And he's doing the academy for 3 months, and he just got paid to build this website. Can you do it? Absolutely, you can do it if you're motivated. You can get paid right out of the gate. 3 months in, he made $500 or $600. I don't know what the amount was. Maybe it was less. I don't remember. My point is, he got a paid project like right out of the gate. I actually can't. I don't remember what we paid him, but I had another student too. By the way, if you're a DevSops Academy student and watching, if you're any good, we always have different projects around. So, but anyway, you can do it in 3 months. So lots of different time periods you can do. It just depends on how much time you have. When you say learn to code, do you mean single language or many languages? Object-oriented programming only, or also web dev, mobile, etc.? E. Rodriguez. Is it Edward? Enrique? Or Eleanor. Pick a learning path, or rather pick a career path. The career path will dictate which technologies you learn. So when I say learn to code, you're going to learn a programming language, and you're probably going to learn frameworks or tools. What's the difference between algorithms, implementation, and pseudocode? Pseudocode is just using English to write solutions to algorithms, like if, then, else, things like that. I'm learning React.js. How much time to take to learn? If you know programming already really well, like you're a great developer, it's only going to take you like a couple months. Like if you're brand new to everything, it's going to take you longer. So, how important is UX and animations in web dev? It's not super important because at a big companies, they usually have employees specifically who do the UX. Now you can join a smaller startup where that's going to be super valuable. It's only going to help you. It's only going to help you to know those things, but not required by any means. Okay, concerning the analytics on the app, tons of ASO changes and spending time adding in-paid features in places where people spend a lot of time, a lot of A/B testing too. That's awesome. I'm super stoked that you went and implemented that stuff. That's great. Do you think building APIs using microservices architecture is better than REST? Okay, better is not always a great term to talk about here. Why do we use microservices? So if you don't know what a microservice is, it's let's think of it this way. If we were to do Netflix, okay, that's a good one. Everyone knows Netflix. If we were to build an API for Netflix and just put it all in one API, we'd have our users, we'd have our billing, okay, we'd have our analytics, we'd have our security, we would have like our list of movies and content. It would all be in this giant API. Now, this is all mixed together in one giant service. Well, guess what? What we're doing now is anytime we make a change, we're affecting everything. We're like touching the whole system. Like, what happens if you break something on one part of the server, with users, and then it breaks the billing, or vice versa? Everything is so, put together here, and also like the hosting and the performance, right? Think about this. Billing might not like need tons of processing power because we only bill once a month, so it's hit far less. Let's say that, versus like the APIs to download content and for movies and stuff is happening, millions of requests per second. Why do we have those on the same server with the same tools and systems, right? So it's a big problem, a huge bottleneck. It's dangerous. Also, let's say somebody hacks you, like you hack your server, they get access to everything. Okay, microservices now. It's a different design paradigm. Imagine now you create an API that's completely separate, just extracted for billing, a different one for users, a different one for authentication. And yeah, it was nice before that the API could just talk directly to the database. Now we got to do a little more work because now the APIs talk to each other. So they're communicating with each other separately, whereas before they could just talk directly to the database. But now they kind of need to, and to each other, but in the same code, right? So now they need to actually send API calls. But what's cool about this is it's completely extracted. So a lot of programmers, when there's big, like a monolithic API, they'll just write crappy code, and it's hard to maintain, hard to manage. Now with every single thing being a microservice, you've got to document it. It has its own APIs, its own protocols. It's perfect. It's like creating a perfect little API for every service that you need, and your code's going to be better. You're going to have less bugs. You're going to, in my opinion, less bugs. And you're going to have a system, like if you ever need to rip out billing and put in a new billing system, it doesn't affect the rest of the API. It's completely separated. So microservices is a big deal, especially for big companies. If you're a startup, you don't need to do all that stuff, and you can always move to microservices later. So, top 5 data structures and algorithm topics. Oh, I don't know. Today's not a good day for me to rattle stuff off like that. Yeah. Hey, by the way, everyone, we've got our next 30-day code challenge for JavaScript coming up. It's 30daycodechallenge.com. Next for JavaScript. And we also have the 30-day code challenge for Swift now coming up as well too. Those are both launching on April 26th. Swift and JavaScript. That's 30 days of intense coding. 30 days of intense coding. I'm going to put it here on Instagram. 30-day code challenge.com. We're doing our first one right now. It's actually live, and it's amazing. Just people are having awesome results. 30daycodechallenge.com. Or if you want to do the Swift one, it's /Swift. It's where we train you for 30 days with coaching and exercises and challenges and data structures and algorithms for absolute beginners, but we also have advanced challenges. And for the Swift challenge, no Mac is actually required. You can do this all with online Swift editors because it's pure Swift, okay? So no Mac is even required. So 30-day code challenge for JavaScript and for Swift, coaching for 30 days. And then you lose access, so you have to finish it no matter what. The goal is to get you kickstarted and get you learning super fast. It's like an energy drink. So the 30-day code challenge is it's like a pre-workout. 30-day code challenge is like a pre-workout. And it's not just a scoop. It's a heaping scoop, flowing over the edge. Anyway, I'm going to answer some of these questions here, and then we're going to wrap it up. Hey, DevSlopes, I'm studying for network and security search as well as learning Python. Do you think I'm wasting time? No. If you like that, you should go all in on it. There's huge opportunities there. If you're like, I don't like the security, but I like the code aspect, then it's probably not for you because you're going to do a lot of stuff in security that has nothing to do with code. So, how long does it take to learn Swift and start a career as an iOS developer training or get commercial experience? How many projects and portfolio would consider okay? I always tell people just spend a year doing this and you get really, really good with it. If you have like 6 hours a day to spend, yeah, maybe you could do it in 6 months. It's not about the quantity of projects. It's about getting good with it and building something big, one major project. That's why at DevSlopes Academy, you build multiple projects and then a huge capstone project that'll actually go on GitHub so employers can look at it. Why should I learn reactive Swift programming with frameworks like Combine or RX Swift? Joshua, you shouldn't. So reactive programming is amazing. In fact, I did it on iOS prior to Combine coming out. Now with Combine and Swift UI, use that. That is reactive programming. It's declarative programming. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I think it's the future of iOS. So you're only going to benefit yourself by mastering Combine and Swift UI. Still a Learn UI kit, but Combine and Swift UI is fantastic. It's all reactive. It's amazing. Can DevSlopes coach me? I live in Germany. Yeah, we have students worldwide, including students in Germany. So absolutely. And London as well, too. Hey, from London. Just finished watching a video where some experts were saying it's really difficult to get an entry-level security job. You're probably right. Security, it's the same. It's the same thing with like if you go to work like for AWS as a back-end engineer, it's very hard to get a junior job doing that because you have to manage people's data and security stuff's involved. Like they need people who are very skilled in what they're doing. It makes sense to a degree. How can I freelance without using freelancing websites? First off, you should go look at my podcast about freelancing, DevSlopes Podcast Freelancing. But I started out without using any sites. You run Google Ads to a landing page that tells what you do. People enter their email, phone number. You call them and you close the deals. My whole first company was built on that. My first consulting company. We did over $1 million in revenue its first year, all through that process I just explained right here. So I'm in my first year of computer science. Awesome. Hey, everyone, I got to wrap this up. Don't forget, 30daycodechallenge.com if you want intensive coding for 30 days, data structures and algorithms and training and coaching. If you want a job or become a paid freelancer to work with me one-on-one and my team, join the DevSlopes Academy. You can get a free 30-minute phone call, and we'll go over career options. And that's devslopes.com/apply. Devslopes.com/apply. And you can work with us one-on-one. We'll help you get paid work, guaranteed. Thanks, everyone. We'll chat tomorrow.